One year after the Neilah service had concluded, a middle-aged man whom I'd never seen before approached me and asked if we could speak privately. I said sure, and we went to find a quiet corner to chat. After sitting down and exchanging pleasantries, he shared what had brought him to mark Yom Kippur for the very first time in his life. I'm from a religious part of Italy and was raised Catholic by my very devout parents, he says. Every Sunday we went to church, and I was even an altar boy as a child at some point. Very sadly, around a year ago, my mother began to develop dementia, and her mental state quickly declined to the point that she hardly remembers who I am today. Some months ago, we realized that she was speaking words in a language we didn't understand or recognize. After doing some research, we were shocked to discover that Mom was speaking Yiddish. To us, this could only mean one thing, that our mother was actually Jewish and had hidden her identity from our entire family all these years. After doing research, we discovered that Mom's mother had survived the concentration camps, and she had decided, like many other survivors, that she would hide her Jewish identity in order to protect herself and her future family from being targeted ever again. Rabbi, when you spoke about the indestructibility of the soul and how the yearning of a Jewish soul can be suppressed and lie dormant for decades or more, only to later spark into a blazing flame, I thought you were talking about me. I felt like you were telling my story. I can't explain it, but despite living a very different life and practicing a very different faith for over 40 years, tonight I felt like I had come home. Friends, in a sense, this is the story of Hanukkah. Like the battle-weary Maccabees of old who encountered a desecrated temple, we too sometimes encounter the wreckage of a worn, torn psyche and a tormented soul whose pure and innocent light seems to have all but been extinguished. Yet, like our battle-weary ancestors, we know the spiritual truth that buried beneath the ruins of a soul repressed, there exists at all times a small cruse of pure oil, a divine spark of untainted goodness and godliness, whose spiritual innocence and integrity is always intact, and whose yearning for connection and expression is literally unstoppable. And yes, in the case of my new Italian friend's dear Yiddish mama, heartbreakingly, it took a disoriented mind and a memory dislodged for that essence and that heritage to emerge into the light of day. But emerge it did, and just in time to pass its light on to the next candle in the family menorah. So the next time you encounter someone whose inner light seems to have darkened, the next time you encounter someone who appears to be broken beyond repair, know this: to be a Maccabee is to have the faith and the courage to keep digging beneath the rubble of the spear until you too find the cruse of oil within, that eternal spark of goodness and godliness whose divine seal can never be broken. Chanukah Sameach.